Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This right here is your Week in Nerdom TV edition for the week of March 19th, 2018. This week we have some updates on some stuff, man. Buffy, Fear the Walking Dead, Titans, all that and more, and we're gonna do an intro real quick.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Coming out the gate swinging, we're talking Titans. We just got the list of the first 7 episodes, what the title of the first 7 episodes, and episode number 7 is entitled Jason Todd. Are we going to be getting multiple Robins? If we're getting Dick Grayson, then that kind of puts Dick Grayson Robin rather, then that kind of puts us in before Jason Todd's time as Robin. So what does that, I don't know what that implies for the timeline. There's so much. We know that potentially we're going to see a Batman and a young Dick Grayson. So are we going to see an older Dick Grayson as Nightwing and then see some Jason Todd Robin? I don't remember even if Jason Todd Robin was ever officially one of the Titans. So I don't know. There's just a lot there. We have a lot of speculation to go over between now and the time that we get this, which is still unknown. But that's where we're ending that, and we're kicking over to the next bit, which is Black Panther. But Black Panther is a movie, you say? Yeah, sure, it is. But they did an animated series. The reason I use the air quotes is because it was more action comic, kind of like animated a la the original Johnny Quest adventures back in like the 60s, where stuff moves, but it's not really animated. A little more towards the animation side of things, but that kind of gives you a better idea of what to expect. There are 6 episodes of that originally aired on BET that are now streaming for free over on Fox's YouTube page. So link to that in the description if you want to watch all that. It doesn't really have anything to do with the movie. It's more, like I said, motion comic. So it's the comic book stuff. So that's always a good thing, right? So again, check out that link down in the description. Next, we're talking Buffy. So Fox, one of Fox's CEOs for production is a man called Gary Newman. Not the Cars guy, but somebody else entirely, I would imagine. But he was talking recently about doing a Buffy revival. And he said that it was entirely up to Joss. Whenever Joss said the timing's right, let's revive Buffy somehow. Didn't say anything about reboot or picking up where they left off, or kind of like the 20 years later thing, whatever. He didn't imply any of that. He just said, we want to do a revival. We're totally on board for that over here at Fox. Whenever Joss Whedon says yes, then we'll do it. And then you got to take into consideration the fact that Joss Whedon doesn't like reboots. Actually came out very vocally against reboots. So probably not going to happen. Would love it. That would be so awesome to revive kind of the original. It was WB at the time, but like the original thing that kind of kickstarted these nerdy shows being super popular. I mean, yes, there are things that are before that, but not with the same amount of popularity. So, yeah, that's would be awesome to happen, but my money says no. We're not actually going to get a Buffy revival, unless Joss changes his tune and really wants to make a couple bucks. who knows? I mean, it's not even that he needs to do it, because he's continuing, even seasons-wise, he's continuing in the comic books. We're in season 12 now in the comic books, and we talked about the spinoff for Giles a couple weeks ago in the comic book section, so he might not ever deem it necessary to do another Buffy show. Maybe a Buffy movie. That would be more like an update, like, this is where they are now, because, like, the Helmuth at the end of the series fell into the pit of hell, so the I don't even remember the name of the little town that they lived in. That doesn't exist anymore, though. So, I don't know, just very interesting. And then our last bit, TV news, is super short this week. Oh, also, speaking of super short this week, we didn't talk about Walking Dead last week. The episode was good, just wasn't a great one like the first two, like episodes 8 and 9. So, I don't understand why, because we're down into like 6 million viewers, I believe, when it airs. It's actually on right now as I'm recording this. So if it's great, then we'll insert a little bit about it right here. But if it's just a good episode, we won't talk about it necessarily. But we are going to talk about the new trailer for this season of Fear the Walking Dead. So I was under the impression that the timeline, because I'm behind about a season on Fear the Walking Dead. I was under the impression, though, that the timeline had caught up with the main show, so they were running parallel timelines at this point. But judging by this trailer, we're still a little behind, because Morgan is still, it looks like he's fresh out of that cage, that he changed his view, that he became very zen. The guy that saved him, effectively. So he looks pretty fresh. His stick looks still pretty fresh. So still a prequel, not exactly a spin-off in the tune of Parallel. This is a prequel series still, and I'm down. I really enjoy the character of Morgan. I really am anxious to see how they develop him into something bigger for this prequel version of him. That's where we're ending that one. So, what did I miss, guys? What is going on in TV news that I missed? What should we talk about next week? Let me know in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website generallynerdy.net. That's where you can find all the links to the social media. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so on and so forth. You can find the links to the stores so you can get more merch like this. Before I forget, though, guys, we are still going to Dink Denver next month and Starfest, which means we've got 2 adventures in photography planned. Definitely let me know what you guys want to see in those episodes. I already have my list of stuff. We went over it in the last supplemental video, so let's go over it again real quick. For Dink, it is not as much cosplay based. It's more just underground comic books and such. They have tattoo artists and so on and so forth. So Dink, they're also in a really beautiful building. So my plans, the goals that I've already set for myself, and these might expand by the time we get to that convention, is some architecture photography, some artists, and general crowd shots, some general like street photography style stuff. Those are my goals as it stands right now for Dink. As for Starfest, there is a significant amount of cosplay there, so we're going to be looking for some of the best cosplay we can find. Shooting some stuff at the cosplay contest that they have every year. Definitely going to be scaling that back a little bit. Cosplay contest is just so much to process. They also have an art contest at Starfest, so that is I'm going to see if I can maybe get some shots of some of the sculptures or anything like that. So cosplay, sculptures, some more street photography stuff. They have very interesting and unique vendors at Starfest, so I'm going to get some vendor shots as well there. If there is more that you guys want to see in those 2 Adventures in Photography episodes, let me know in the comments down low. Go check out the other Adventures in Photography videos. Comment, let's have conversations. The purpose of that series is kind of to illustrate as I grow as an artist in that art form, and kind of to stimulate conversation around that, and just kind of have fun with it. So now we can end the video. Or if you want to help the conversation, you want to become a direct contributor, there's always the Patreon page, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You can go over there and support me directly. If you liked this episode, click that like button. If you are new to the channel, click the subscribe button. If you are falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box right there to the left of my face right about now if you're watching on YouTube. But before you go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.